In a world where there are too many comic books to keep up with, one podcast has the stones to bring you all of your comic book needs. Week by week, book by book, one epic show. You are now tuned in to Nerd Church Radio.
Hello and welcome to the NCR DC Mass episode number 47. I'm your host, Ben Dupé.
I'm Travis Roseberry.
Good job, Ben. 47.
Yeah, thank you. And that's Brad giving me an applause there. Yeah, I forget, like every week we have to stop the episode right at the beginning because I forget what episode number and I don't want to look
Episode 1 came out on August 29th of 2016.
Wow.
Nice.
Holy shit. So we're getting there, man. Yeah. We're almost at our 1 year. That's crazy. So, good times, you know. How's everyone doing this week?
Good. How about you?
Pretty good, man. I feel great, actually. I've been like on this new meal plan and actually working out and stuff and
juicing, working the quads, all that stuff.
Started some steroids and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
whoa, you're looking huge.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, it did.
No, but I've been eating right and stuff. So it's crazy, like how good you feel after a week of that. Because normally I have to work at the comic shop on Saturday morning after being at work till midnight the night before, and I come right home and go to sleep. Like yesterday, I didn't take a nap at all, which is weird. Like I felt fine all day. So
wow.
It's
Sweet.
It's crazy. I felt like energized and stuff.
Clean living, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to do in this day and age.
Yeah, it is. I had my first like cheat meal yesterday. It was like where the first time I can eat whatever I want,
right?
After a week of not eating anything. So I cleaned up at Flicks, man. I ate like pizza and wings and ice cream. It was awesome.
Waitress turns around. No, get back here. We're not done yet.
Right. It's the first time that a waitress has cut me off from food and not alcohol. So
sir, you've had enough.
You've had enough. Yeah. So, what's your week been like, man?
I'm gonna cross the universal boundary here from DC into the Marvel world. I think I've inherited Magneto's powers because I have screwed up every piece of electronic device I've been around. I've destroyed work computers. I don't know why. So
don't touch any of the stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay clear.
Yeah, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Get out.
I'm just gonna scoot my computer.
Yeah. Right. Mm.
So what broke? Like,
I think the problem was somewhere between the keyboard and the chair.
Aren't you an engineer or something? Like,
yes, I like to break things.
So I can learn how to
no idea what
put them back together.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you, man? How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Went to Newton, saw my grandpa yesterday for a few hours. So
good deal.
Took the little one. He's doing pretty good.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah.
How's Princess Leia?
Good. She's doing all right.
That's his daughter for the listeners.
Yeah, she's been getting these fevers. She's home from daycare on Tuesday, and then she went home early on Friday as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That sucks, man. Bro. Hope she feels better.
She's got 1 more week of daycare, so that's good. And then she starts school, so that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Although the saving the $500 a month is going to be kind of nice.
That's going to be nice. Yeah.
Oh man,
I can't wait for that.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah.
You guys may have noticed the walls are
it's starting to get a little bare around here.
There's normally quite a bit more stuff. That's all the hours and hours of packing that I've been putting in.
Also, I do.
Actually, that's been 100% my wife, not me. She does it while I'm at work. So
actually, I do got one last thing here. So there is 126 days till Star Wars, 95 days till Justice League, and 81 days to Thor Ragnarok.
I like it. I like it. Good
you
stuff.
See, DC's really pushing the Justice League merch right now.
They are. There's that Superman commercial you sent. There's actually a Flash commercial for Walmart that they did. Yeah, showing Flash speeding, helping people in long checkout lines at Walmart,
That
which
would
is
be helpful.
ironic because that's like
That's
the
never gonna
slowest place that you've ever checked out of. But
I had to get some groceries from Walmart earlier today, and I swear this lady was like, it took her a minute to scan each item, and then double bagged every bag. And I'm just like, and put like 2 things in there. I'm like, okay, 2 bottles of creamer does not need to go in a bag by itself.
Well, you remember, like, you and I went to Walmart once on our lunch break.
Yeah.
I was like, we can make it in 30 minutes.
Right?
All I have to buy is a ceramic pot. They can't make this hard. And sure enough, it's just the most difficult trip I've ever been on. It's crazy. And we were late back from lunch.
Needless to say, NCR is not brought to you by Walmart.
Right. That's very true. We'll never be sponsored by them. So, all right. Well, we got a ton of books to cover this week, so I'm going to move things on to a little bit of news. All right, so first off for news this week, July comic book sales kind of took a tumble versus this point in time last year.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a pretty dense article, but I'll just read the first couple parts of it because there was one part that made me excited. But that was not the first part. So sales of comic book and graphic novels in the direct market for July 2017 actually fell over 11% versus June and over 19% versus July of 2016. So this is according to figures released by Diamond Comic Distributors, which Diamond distributes to everyone. That's who distributes comics. So the part that I was excited about, though, was DC's Dark Days, The Casting #1, was the best-selling comic book of this last July.
Nice. Really?
Batman 26 and 27 also cracking the top 5.
Oh, the war of jokes and riddles. Is that a joke or is that a riddle?
Yeah, I think it's a riddle.
Oh, riddle?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
gotcha.
riddle.
Yeah.
Wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a burrito. So Marvel's comic had
Burrito.
6 titles in the top 10, including Charles Soule and Jim Chung's Astonishing X-Men #1, and in the #2 position, Secret Empire #6 and 7, which I actually bought both of those.
Cool.
And then Image Comics' Walking Dead #169 at #9 was, as usual, the lone non-DC or Marvel title in the top 10. So Walking Dead's always up there in the top 10. So, but it sounds like, comics, and this is no secret, I mean, comics are taking kind of a tumble, man. The sales are dropping off. DC has acknowledged it, and they're saying they have plans to bring it back or whatever to make things work again. But yeah, right now it's just it's gone downhill a little bit. So.
There's a lot of books out there that really.
I know the quality has definitely dropped off, even for these DC titles. Like I feel. And I don't want to talk smack about DC or anything, but I do feel like a lot of things that are bi-weekly releases right now don't necessarily need to be bi-weekly releases. I feel like I don't know. What are some bi-weekly releases that we do?
You could get
Cyborg.
Cyborg could definitely be a monthly book. It's
even Superwoman,
Justice League of America,
Justice League,
but that'll always be bi-weekly,
right?
Save that one for once a month.
Honestly,
man.
even if you took Action Comics or Superman and just made one of those 2 books monthly and the other one bi-weekly,
right.
I feel like 2 Superman books every bi-weekly is just too much Superman, and you're gonna get tired of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll eventually see that happen. What I hope doesn't happen is I don't want New Superman to get canceled because I really like that book, and it's a weird concept for a book, but it's such a cool thing to have only Chinese characters in a comic book. And you have a Chinese writer doing it. It's really cool.
Right.
I don't know. I hope that doesn't get canceled. I've tried to tweet a lot and encourage people to tweet a lot that's a really good book.
Yeah, I can't get into it. I've tried a few times.
Oh man, I love it. It's a fantastic comic book. Yeah. So, this week, DC comic editors have been playing musical chairs. And not literally playing musical chairs, but
what song do you think they would play?
It just seems like I don't know.
I bet you they probably pumped the Wonder Woman theme. For the
that
movie.
could be.
Yeah.
That could be. I was thinking more like some Scorpions or something.
That's my wife's
Rocky like a
ringtone,
hurricane.
actually.
That's my wife's ringtone too.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Wind
Nice
of
work.
Change. Wind of Change.
So, Mark Doyle moved from being Batman group editor to Vertigo and Young Animal. A few assistant and associate editors moved out around as well, and basically everyone at DC Comics is just shuffling around. I mean, like,
it's probably in response to the sales.
Action Comics just got its first female editor.
Oh, cool.
Which that's not happened before, I don't believe. So says this article. So, yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about like what an editor's job is or whatever. I mean, I know obviously
I was gonna say
they edit the comics or
Right.
whatever, but I know they also like to add Easter eggs and stuff in there when they can with words.
Yeah.
So.
Have to be pretty knowledgeable about the baseline and
and past history and stuff like
Right.
that. So
cool.
But that's all I got for news. Do you guys have any news?
No, sir.
No, I gave my countdowns earlier. I guess I won't go a little
you
fast
got-
on that. So
All right, good deal. Well, we'll move into our book reviews then.
Batgirl was really good. Batgirl and Bridge Press.
All right. Yes, it was very good, actually. And there was a little Easter egg in that book, too. I don't know if I should call it an Easter egg. The reason I'm talking about it on this show is because we'll go in depth on it on Communion. But at the very end of the book, the Batgirl and the Birds of Prey are sitting around talking, and they ask Selena Kyle what's she going to be up to or what's she going to be doing, and she says, "I've got something on the horizon keeping me engaged."
I get it.
So far, I was the only other one to catch that.
Oh, nice.
I think that she might say yes to Bruce, so I'm not sure, but yeah. Yeah, I know.
That's so awesome.
So
Maybe we can throw him a party. We could
makes
do a
me-
little.
What?
We could do a Batman Catwoman engagement party thing.
There you go.
makes me giddy like a little schoolgirl. All right,
Oh,
so
listen to him be catty like that.
Yeah.
You said catty.
Yeah, like because she's Catwoman. I get it. So we're starting off with Batman Detective Comics number 962. So we open up this book with a Dragon Ball Z-esque page of Jean Paul and Ascalon inside of Jean Paul's mind, fighting for control of his body. And just as John Paul is about to lose the fight, Luke Fox saves the day with some AI that he's programmed into the classic Batwing suit that's infiltrated John Paul's inner thoughts. Wasn't supposed to be a period there. So John Paul awakes to Luke and Batman telling him that he's been programmed with some AI very similar to Batman and asking him if he's ready to fight, which, he's got like the mind of Batman inside of his mind, so go figure he is. Then John Paul heads over to fake John Paul, and they start going at it in an epic battle. Nomos drops in to tell John Paul that this dude he's fighting is actually his brother, which is kind of a big reveal there, is like John Paul has a brother, and that's him, so that was pretty cool. And then they all stop fighting and go out for tacos together, and the book ends. So no, actually John Paul just punches through his brother's heart instead. So anyway, this wasn't enough to kill his brother. In fact, he's been running through every electronic device in Gotham with his weird godlike AI. And John Paul's brother respawns and gives a huge evil pep talk about how everyone just wants to be released from this world. Zatanna uses that magic answer ball that her dad gave her to show fake Azrael the real truth about the world. This stops him from going all crazy and makes him realize how big of a jerk he's being. He decides he needs to get some like eat, pray, love action going on, like go figure out the world and stuff. So he leaves. But before he does, he drops a knowledge bomb and tells Batman that Tim Drake is actually alive. Then he disappears. The issue ends with a heart-to-heart between John Paul and Batman and a future Easter egg that Ra's al Ghul is going to be the next big villain in this story. So that's all we got.
Cool.
Couple of big things in this issue, though, man. I don't know. The
Since when did Hasbro start selling the Magic 8-Ball again?
obviously that was the first thing that entered my mind, but after
You
that,
should have looked in the Magic 8-Ball.
Yeah.
that Batman finding out that
Tim.
Paul or that
Tim Drake?
Tim Drake was alive.
Yeah.
I mean, because that the editorial errors.
Editorials?
Yeah. Well, no, there was that issue.
Oh, yeah.
Way
yeah.
back in the day where Batman was supposed to find that out,
button.
but they pushed it off to this. So, Yeah, man, that's pretty crazy. He knows now. The cat's out of the bag on that one. John Paul has a brother. That's another big one. I kind of wonder if he'll come back into play at any point. But what did you guys think of this issue?
I didn't read this one, but I just flipped through it, and holy cow, the art's amazing.
Yeah, it's really
love it.
Yeah.
Very, very good art. Very, very good story, too. Did you read this one?
Yeah, I read it. Yeah, it was one of the first ones I read. I paired this with Honey Nut Cheerios
okay.
And chocolate milk.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was really good.
We got to get you some different cereal, man.
Yeah, man. I feel like that's every comment.
Well, Honey Nut Cheerios isn't bad for my diabetes.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. My go-to is that and Cocoa Puffs because everybody in the family eats Cocoa Puffs. I keep trying to get them into Fruit Loops, but they won't.
Yeah,
so
not having it.
Right.
Yeah, man. I thought this was a fantastic read, though, man. For the first time in a long time, I didn't hate Batman Detective Comics. I normally feel like this book is just so much overkill. There's so many characters and
in this whole story arc with Jean Paul and everything, I haven't been interested in it, but just the last page where we see Raj Al Ghul again, I'm kind of excited about the next chapter.
No, man, I really enjoyed this issue. And Zatanna was a great addition to it. I mean, I don't know, man. I couldn't find much wrong with it. But sorry.
Do you guys think that she's going to stick around, or do you think she's going to be gone?
No, because at the end it showed her like on a plane leaving,
right.
So she is also going to eat, pray, love. I think.
Did you just read that book or something?
I actually have never read that book.
Don't lie.
You're in a safe place. He watched the movie. You watched the movie.
Okay, all right.
I absorbed it. I didn't read it. It was a religious experience.
You sat in the Mobius chair.
So we do have a rating system here, so I'll play that rating system for you guys so you know what I'm talking about.
If a comic book is bad, we rate it as blasphemy. If the book is good, we give our blessing. If the book is not bad, not good, but just kind of meh, we rate it as stuck in purgatory. If the book is great, we rate it as holy. And if a comic book exceeds all standards of awesomeness, we rate that book as salvation.
All right, so yeah, I don't know, man. I'm close to a salvation on this one. I don't think it's there yet for me. I don't think it was great enough, but it's damn close. It's a high holy on me for this one though. I really enjoyed it, and it brought back my interest into this series. So
nice. I'm with you, man. The whole Tim Drake thing. Now that everybody's out there and Batman knows, and just. Thinking ahead, what is Batman going to do with that knowledge? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's the guy who's always prepared. He's not going to stop.
Nope.
No, I mean, and Batman acknowledges at the end, like, whoever is able to keep him hidden from me right now has to be a humongous power, because it would take a lot to be able to hide something from Batman. So, I mean, like, it's more foreshadowing of what's coming up in this Doomsday Clock stuff, and that, I always love those Easter eggs. So, yeah, man, I really enjoyed it, High Holy, and I'm going to keep reading it. So we can keep things moving here and move on to our next book of the week, which is Mr. Miracle, #1.
All right, guys. Mr. Miracle, #1, written by Tom King, and art by Mitch Gerards. So I'm going to go ahead and do the reboot. I'm going to do my recap for you guys, and then I'm going to do a little bit of explaining, because if you don't know any backstory, it could be very, very confusing.
This book is like Daryl's hair on The Office. It's dense. You remember that? No? Okay, sorry.
Very good. I like it.
Yeah, all right.
So... this issue starts in a bloody mess. Scott Free, better known as Mr. Miracle, has attempted suicide. He is rushed to the hospital where he has been committed for a few days. But are things really as they seem? Darkseid is. Scott and Big Barda are laying there watching TV. Ping! Orion boom tubes through. Scott, stand! Just to get punched to the ground. Stand! And again on the ground. Barda steps in, but something is different about her this time. Her eyes have changed color. Apparently, I must have been hit harder than I thought. Darkseid is. On the Late Late Show with Godfrey, Mr. Miracle escapes a death trap again. More to come on Godfrey, people. Darkseid is. On the beach, Big Barda is working on her tan. Highfather is explaining to Scott that Darkseid has figured out the anti-life equation. With this knowledge, he can manipulate reality. dark side is. Oberon is helping Scott prepare for an escape of Thangarian handcuffs, but the only problem is that Oberon isn't alive, and it was Scott that decided to pull the plug since he wouldn't want to be in pain. Dark side is ping. Dark side is ping. Dark side is. Scott finds out that Highfather is dead, and him and Big Barda, dark side is, are needed back on New Genesis before dark side is, the boom tube can take us away. Something just doesn't feel right.
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh, okay.
No, you're
all right,
good.
So that's the recap.
I was showing.
Wait, let me guess. Dark side is?
Dark side is.
Travis hadn't read this one, so I was showing him the pages that said Dark Side is over and over.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to work that in somehow. But so I really love the book. But if you're a new new reader of Mr. Miracle and you picked up this book, it's going to be one massive. It's going to mess with your head.
Yeah, man, and I felt like a lot of it, like a lot of people have read Christopher Priest's Deathstroke run, where he does those like panels that just have the typewriter font word on them,
right?
And I felt like that kind of took that element from the Deathstroke books, a little
Could have
bit.
been, yeah. I mean, I took it as subliminal messages because they're talking about how Darkseid has the anti-life equation and that he can warp reality. I kind of think that all the entire issue is in Scott Free's head. I think that he did commit suicide. The reason that he committed suicide is because death is the one thing that nobody's escaped from, and him being this master escape artist is going to do that. But again, I don't know if that would have worked because Scott Free, Mr. Miracle, is a god. He's one of the new gods. He's not human.
Right.
He's got super strength. I mean, he
can still be hurt.
Right, but I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about that type of what they can and can't do. Now a little backstory on Scott Free and Orion and some of the characters here. So Scott Free's from a New Genesis, and his father, the Highfather, is ruler of that planet. Well, that planet is in an eternal war with Apocalypse. So to bring in peace, Highfather and Apocalypse switched sons.
Highfather and Darkseid, you mean?
Yeah. That's it. Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
I do that all the time because
they're
Apocalypse,
so similar.
the character,
right? And that's the name of the
Marvel character,
right?
Yeah.
So Darkseid took Scott Free to be his son, and he imprisoned him. And Orion lived with Highfather, and from what people are saying is like thousands of years, or at least 1,000 years that he was a prisoner. While he was there, he met Big Barda. And a fun fact that Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, the character's relationship is based on Jack Kirby and his wife.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So, they escape that, and so Orion and Mr. Miracle are kind of really good frenemies. I mean, they're at odds at times.
Yeah.
But so Oberon is kind of somebody is someone who kind of took Scott Free under his wing and kind of taught him a lot about life, whatever, helped him get to Earth. And anyway, that's kind of a basic rundown of some of the characters that are in the book. Godfrey, I forgot to mention Godfrey. Godfrey, he was the talk show host in the book. He's actually one of Darkseid's generals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he actually can do a slight mind control.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, the book the art was, it was all over the place in a good way.
Sure.
There were some different colors. That's why I kind of get the feeling that a lot of this was taking place in Scott Free's head, and that maybe Darkseid is going to have some sort to do with the overall arching of the sort of rebirth now.
Sure.
I think he's the one that's kind of putting these situations in. So I I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't either. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I really hope it comes together in more of like a cohesive sort of like linear thing, because Tom King really likes to write these things where it's like War of Jokes and Riddles started on a really rough note because it was very non-linear and kind of hard to understand or whatever. And I feel like this is the same type thing as that. So I'm hoping it gets into like, okay, we get the ball rolling a little more with a better story.
Right, because I mean, like the first time I read it, I was just like,
what? Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's definitely not a serial comic.
It's a heavy read. Yeah,
it's a heavy read. You need to be engaged in it. You need to think about it. I mean, it's definitely a thinker. So
yeah,
I definitely suggest people go out and buy it.
Yeah, I think if you're a DC fan and if you're a New 52 fan, I would agree for sure.
One cool thing is like they had the painting of Mr. Miracle, which was Mr. Miracle #1 from 1971, all in the background. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. So what would you rate this one,
Brad? I can't go Salvation on it. Just I don't think it was there because it just. As good as it was, I don't feel like it was like, you know, Salvation. Holy.
Okay.
I'll go a solid Holy.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna learn a little bit more. And
sure.
Now, is this just a monthly title, or
I don't know,
or is it just a short
I'm not
run?
sure about the release schedule.
Okay.
Oracle, can you figure that out for us? How often are they doing?
Not a big deal. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I want to know for our listeners. So, yeah, I'm at a blessing on it. High blessing, I think. Cool. And I think there's possibility to get into Salvation on this.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's really hard to say. I feel like this is a book that it's really almost even unfair to rate before I've read the whole thing, whole story arc, because I feel like it's going to be just a work of art as far as just the whole thing. And a lot of people said that about Christopher Priest's Deathstroke run, which was like a lot of people didn't like it at first, but a lot of it made sense towards the end, and like then it won like Eisner Awards and stuff. So
and they're using characters that we haven't seen for a long time. So in these fourth dimension characters. So
yeah, it's
a monthly book. By the way,
monthly book.
Okay,
okay, cool.
All right. So that's all we got on that book. Absolutely. Travis didn't read it, so not doing a rating on that one.
Wow,
so.
Really calling me out there, huh?
Hey man, I'm just saying.
Just the truth.
Gotta call you out. So. Yeah, a book you did read though is Action Comics number 985.
I did.
Like that segue there.
Action Comics 985, Only Human Part 1, Williams, March, and Hi-Fi.
So are you only human in Part 1 or?
I'm not real sure yet. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't ask me these tough questions. Our story starts with Superman having a friendly recap conversation with Lois about the events of the last 6 months. We've had Mr. McKillplick. We've had what else go on? Everything you can think of.
The future assassins or whatever.
Man, so much stuff has gone on.
Road trip around DC?
Yeah, the road trip around DC. Yeah. All of this is taking place while he's rescuing or bench pressing a submarine from under the sea. Kind of a everyday occurrence. I do the same thing when I'm coming home.
I do too. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah.
Interrupted by the sound of gunfire, Superman speeds off in the direction of Georgia, where a civil war is being fought. At the center of the chaos is the machinist, who is using his mind control chips to win friends and influence others. Maybe just try to take over. I don't know.
Or destroy the world.
Yeah. Superman ends the mind control reign by removing the chip, but soon finds out similar events are happening all over the world. Using microscopic vision, Sup sees the Lex Luthor symbol on the master chip that he found. So he speeds back to Metropolis to confront Lex. Confronting him, about his involvement, Superman and Luthor actually team up because Luthor basically calls him out and says, "If this was my plan, it would have worked."
I believe him.
Dropped the mic and walked out. So he suits up in his super suit, and they take off, tracking the machinist to India, where they confront him. But before the asymmetrical duo can save the day, Machinist plants the mind control chip on the back of Luthor's head. The fight between Supes and Luthor is on. I gave it a blessing. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't bad. Art was a little weird, but I liked it in certain spots. Yeah. It's interesting. I think, tell me I'm wrong here, but I think this is kind of a tied-over comic. I think there's a bigger arc going to be happening here soon. I don't know how long only human's going to run, but it didn't feel like the story's got legs to go on. So I'm giving it a blessing. I think a good 2, maybe 3 run or issue run would be fine with this.
Yeah, so. I was kind of thinking that as I was reading it too. It's like this could be a 3-issue run. I think I really can't see it being much longer than that. I mean, you introduced the villain really quick, and I mean we're already at the big fight. You know,
yeah.
It's like,
I don't really like Machinist either, and he showed up in 52.
Okay, he's a recurring thing.
Yeah,
okay.
And he showed up in 52, and I just didn't like it. Somebody that just pops in and you can never get a tangible hold on him because he jumps bodies, basically. You can't give Superman anything to hit, so what's the point?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
True. But again, that's he can't hit it, so like that's another reason it's kind of cool, I guess, because it's like this isn't a problem he can punch away. I mean, it's the same reason Lex Luthor is kind of a cool villain because he just outsmarts Superman. Right. He doesn't have to overpower him, you know?
But I don't know if Ariel agrees with me 100%, but I'm waiting for the Lex Luthor to stab Superman in the back. You know,
yeah, I mean, Ariel definitely agrees with you. She hates Luthor, and she's waiting on him to turn bad. I think he works really well as a anti-hero, personally.
I agree with you, Ben.
I like how he's been written lately. I think he's great this way, but we'll see.
Luthor's so duplicitous, though. He's always and forever will be the bad guy. So I do have to say, I love the super suit that he's got. The Iron Man / Kryptonian thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This, by the way, this story arc is 2 issues, and then it bleeds over into the Oz Effect.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And so the Oz Effect starts issue after next.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Couple weeks.
I'm very excited for that. So so that's all we got. Did you rate it yet?
Yeah, blessing.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, it reminded me of Rob Liefeld in the 1990s.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very 90s to me.
Yeah, it kind of was.
I mean, even some of those shots of Superman like screaming, and like that's Cable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
even some of the hands are drawn really badly.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of Rob Liefeld's signature thing.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. Blessing. It was a fun read. Maybe a half a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah. We're gonna start rating things.
It's more like
a
handful of dry Cheerios. That's what
right. Dried Cheerios, no taste, something you give babies.
Yeah.
Did we have like a change in creative team on this? Was Rob Williams always writing this one?
I don't know.
I swear I thought someone else was writing this because the story and art took a hard right for me.
Yeah,
it was not as good as it normally is for me.
Yeah.
But I still go blessing. It was still fun.
Yeah. So. Cool. We all agree.
Yep. All right. So, Gleason and Tomasi normally. Well, I thought they did the Superman.
They do Superman, but I don't know about action.
Yeah, they do Superman. I don't know about Action Comics or. So that's fine. We'll keep things moving here. We got Titans number 14. And on that one, let me get to my notes here. So Titans, this one opens up with the Titans fighting a few giant Atlantean magic monsters that are in love with Garth, which is kind of funny to watch unfold or whatever. Just a normal
party on, Garth.
Yeah, just a
party on, Wayne.
Normal. Yeah, exactly. So then we jump back to 8 hours ago, where, if you remember from last issue, Dick just accused Lilith of being a traitor. So he decides to use a piece of spyware from Spiral that'll scan all their heads and tell the team if that person got scanned as a spy or not. The only catch is the results take 24 hours to come in. So the Titans do what I would definitely do in that situation and order some pizza and stay locked up in the house. So the pizza is actually poisoned by some sea life venom, though, which Garth detects with his super special Atlantean taste buds. And
this ain't right.
This doesn't taste good. Yeah,
a little salty.
Yeah. So the team decides to go to the pizza place and check it out. That's where they find the monsters, which I forget their names, but it's not really important. The next few pages is just the team taking down the Atlantean magic monster things. But the team is fighting a lot amongst themselves, too. They're kind of coming apart at the seams. There's some love triangle stuff going on, and there's some, couple drama happening and stuff. So Garth defeats the bad guys using his magic skills, which brings back some pretty bad memories for him. The team heads back to the Titans Tower to find out the results of the test, but Lilith disappears and heads to Simon in jail to get some more answers on what's going on. We get a page of Bumblebee's husband trying to infiltrate a hive to get his wife's memories back. And the issue ends revealing Nightwing is actually the traitor, and shows him talking to someone telling him that he'll be found out soon by the team and asking how this mystery person wants him to proceed. What a dick. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, thumbs up there.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Because his name is Dick. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway. So next issue is Nightwing versus the Titans. So I wasn't surprised by this, actually. I didn't think Lilith was a spy. I thought it was probably going to be Dick Grayson just because he has the background with Hive, and we just had the Lazarus contract happen where he kind of deceived everyone a little bit or didn't tell everyone. And I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to be an all-out bad guy. I think it's just going to be some series of events in which he's still the good guy, but he has his reasons or whatever. So, did anyone else read this one?
I did not.
No, sir.
I didn't. I think I'm going to go back and read it, though.
Oh, yeah.
After
It's a
your
good
recap,
book. Yeah. It's a great book. The artwork is fantastic. I think it's Tim Seeley who does the art on this. Hold on.
Tim Seeley, he's the writer of Nightwing.
Art's by Brett Booth. Brett Booth. I'm sorry. Brett Booth is the art,
Good.
and Dan Abnett does the story.
That's right.
But I love this team, man. They're great at. Dan Abnett's really good at writing group stories with a lot of heroes and
Booth's an amazing artist.
Dude, it's so good.
I hope
every page is just brilliant.
I hope the TV show Titans is going to be semi this.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, and I think you have to. I think there was some quotes out there from the actress who's playing Raven. She was talking about what it's going to be like or whatever. I didn't read it yet, but
I mean, and she's hopefully she's the only like super young one. I want to see them in their 20s.
Yeah, I do too.
Because you can't have like Robin
or even like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Just later, a little bit later. We don't need like 14-year-old Teen Titans. So. But we will move things on to our next book of the week, which is Hal Jordan and the GLC, number 26.
All right, written by Vendetti and art by Sandoval. Jax from Mortal Kombat is a Green Lantern.
Finish him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All kidding aside, Green Lantern named Graf, who is also a monk of some sort, is having nightmares from the past where metal. I am one with the lanterns are with me. I am one with the lanterns are with me.
Careful, we're going to get sued. Knock it off.
John sends Hal and Kyle on a new mission. Hal and Kyle are having a heart-to-heart, but when the destination is met, there is nothing there. It's almost like a billion voices cried out and were forever silent.
I told you, knock it off. We're going to get sued.
I don't have any more, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hal and Kyle are met with a metal light monster, and they find out that Orion is fighting him. Orion was sent by Highfather to get help from the Green Lanterns, especially the help of the White Lantern. Orion takes an Omega beam to the chest, and Hal and Kyle have to take him to the closest place they can to save his life. Orion wakes up and is pissed and tells the Green Lanterns that they are targeting him and that they will end up getting the city destroyed. Just then a light metal monster shows up and they start getting to work.
So the White Lantern was in here? I didn't read this one. I'm sorry.
No,
I didn't either.
They're looking for the White Lantern, and Kyle was like, well, not really the White Lantern anymore. Kind of not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess they're bringing a lot of death, and so they need the White Lantern to balance that out.
I forgot what happened with the White Lantern.
He had to fracture it for something, so he had so all the spectrum.
Okay.
Oh no! So they were trying to make new Blue Lanterns, and so they took apart the White Lantern to go find out new.
Okay.
Right.
I had to go back and research.
That was like a month or so.
Honestly,
ago.
I haven't read this book since issue 17. I don't think.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and I have them all in a file on my computer. I just have to go back and read them. So
yeah. So
yep,
it was good. The art was really good. It was kind of cool to see Orion. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be something cool, some sort of crossover between like Mr. Miracle, Orion, Highfather, all them. Although Highfather is now dead, according to Mr. Miracle. But anyway, Holy.
Cool. Awesome. I was surprised you didn't read this one, Travis.
I was saving it, but I have a bunch of coworkers that just wouldn't, toe the line and let me read my comics during the workday. So
that'll happen.
Yeah.
For listeners, Travis's friend is sitting here.
Whoa! That's a little too friendly there. It's workplace
don't
proximity associates.
Yeah.
I call him by a different name just to make sure he knows I'm not his friend. Oh wait, that was Ron Swanson. Sorry.
Yeah, and for listeners, actually, this guy's starting a sumo wrestling podcast pretty soon. So more info to come on that. Be on ESPN 8.
The Ocho.
The Ocho. So
what are we calling that?
Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Cool.
Yeah, should be pretty cool.
Is it like once a month fight thing?
Yeah. Once a month, preview 1 month, review the next month.
Nice.
All right. I like
Sweet.
it. Very cool. It'll be fun. So more information on that as it comes out.
Will it be a real heavy cast?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's pretty big.
I should have seen that one coming. All right. So did we rate
kind of hard to miss?
Yeah.
Did you rate Hal Jordan in the GLC?
Yeah, Holy. I went Holy with it. I really liked it.
Okay.
Nice.
I think it's cool. I think they're going to go to a cool place. So
okay,
and they kept on emphasizing metal, and there was those Star Wars puns in there.
There's a lot of that this week,
right?
man.
Yeah,
right.
Like, I ran into that a lot on the communion books. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Marvel does the Star Wars comics, but really, I see more like Star Wars hints and stuff in DC than
I do too.
So
hey, I'm okay with it, man.
me too. I love Star Wars.
As long as I don't know, it feels like sometimes in the Batgirl and the Birds of Prey books, it feels like they're kind of pandering to nerd culture a little bit. Like they're just like there's like 5 Star Wars jokes in one book. It's
right.
like, okay, we get it. You're trying to make this funny for nerds, but like you don't need to shove it in my face.
Yeah,
know?
there's times when it works, and then there's times where it doesn't.
It's like goes too far.
It worked in this book.
Yeah, I'm okay with 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Especially in a spacey book like this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we will move things on to our next book and Travis's final book of the week, which is Justice League of America number
12.
JLA
number 12. Orlando, Reese, and Mayalo. Panic in the Microverse, Part 1. So just fully letting everybody know, I play, but you don't need to pick up this book. Right. So if you want to go out, grab it. It's a great jumping on point, really.
This one was good.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Normally I'd say you don't even need to be able to read Justice League of America, but
just flip through it.
The intro of our story is a little disjointed, but several micro stories take place. But we find out that Ryan, the Atom, has locked onto Professor Palmer, the original Atom's BioBelt's homecoming beacon, and can now go to rescue him. So way back in JLA 1, we find out that Ray Palmer has shrunk down to the microverse, and somehow
that was actually in DC Universe Rebirth number 1.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Sorry.
Which was, I'm excited to see.
So, Bats, Killer Frost, Lobo, and Atom board a shrinking ship that Ryan built, and that'll allow them to go ahead and travel to the microverse. After breaching the first quantum barrier, they arrive in the microverse. But wouldn't you know it, they're under attack immediately and are shot down to the surface of what appears to be like a planet. Ryan's belt goes crazy with the emergency beacon signal from Palmer. But again, a horde of troops calling themselves the Null attack them. The team is outnumbered, but they are saved by a mysterious figure shrouded in robes and cloaks. Oh, and a biobelt. And there are only 2 biobelts in existence. The one Ryan has and the one that Professor Palmer has.
Robes and cloaks.
Yeah, seems
Star
like...
Wars.
Yeah. Remember,
Mr. Oz.
Remember, since issue 1, trust no one in the microverse.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't read this, but I do remember there was that one part in DC Universe Rebirth number 1 where Ryan gets a video from Professor Palmer, and it's
trust
like,
no one.
I'm in the microverse, and when you get to the first part of the microverse, no matter what you do, and then it just cuts out.
Yeah.
And
it's very important that you listen. You push the button, and then you...
yeah.
This button?
Yeah. No.
That button.
That's the one.
Okay.
No.
Not the red button.
It was cool. I liked it. I'm definitely going to read the next one to figure out, because I want to find Professor Palmer again.
Yeah.
I gave it a blessing. I don't think I could call it holy.
Yeah.
The guy we're led to believe is actually Palmer, that's shrouded in cloaks and robes and whatnot. His outfit looks a lot like Blackest Night, Ray Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he gets the what is it? It's not the indigo. Yeah, it's indigo.
Yeah.
Ring. Yeah. But of course, I don't think it's going to be Palmer, just because of all the events and don't trust everybody. But also, he kills all those null figures, Palmer wouldn't do that.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm with you. I think that Palmer's the logical choice. So I think it's kind of smokescreen.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. I
didn't mind the interaction between the teams.
Yeah.
I will admit that first 2 or 3 pages, I was like, what's the point of this? But I think they had to wrap up and kind of say, okay, here's the rest of the group. They need to be off here, and then we're all going to take the small group. Get it? Small group down in the microverse.
Yeah.
No. I liked it a lot, but yeah, like I said, blessing. What'd you guys think?
I didn't read this one. So.
No?
I read it. I'm with you with the blessing. And I like JLA, and I wish Justice League would do this too, would kind of have not everybody together.
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think Palmer's going to play a big part, especially because they've been that was one of the mysteries in Rebirth #1. Mm-hmm. So I think bringing him back into the fold is going to have an overall effect in the entire story.
Sure.
So
yeah, I do too.
But yeah, it was definitely. I think the last one was pretty good too, or it was decent. So the last couple issues, I'm getting hopeful for.
Yeah,
because it was JLA was getting pretty bad there for a while.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
man, it's like if Justice League is in the title, I don't even want to read it.
Yeah,
I know, right? All right, cool. Well, we will move things on to our final book of the week, and that is The Flash, number 28. So this one opens up with an ominous villain telling another ominous villain to send a message to the Flash. Then we pick up where the Flash is trying to catch a group of bad guys called the Road Reapers. He's trying to do this while trying to understand his new Speed Force powers that came to him courtesy of Eobard Thawne. He let the Road Reapers get away, and his new powers destroy part of Central City in the process, which isn't good. He decides to not use the powers until he has a grasp on how they work and what their effects are and stuff like that. So Barry heads over to the CCPD to get some work done. His boss calls him into his office along with another CSI and a couple detectives. Barry's boss tells them that the blood samples from the first case his boss ever worked are missing, and he needs this group of people to help track them down. This needs to stay quiet because the department could have a bad apple in it or whatever. So after all this goes down, Barry goes outside to clear his head, and the Reapers run past him again, and that really pisses Barry off, so he decides to race after them, even though he's not supposed to use his powers. And come to find out, the Reapers aren't actually running from like a crime scene or anything. They're running from another bad guy named Shrapnel. Shrapnel catches up with the Road Reapers and Barry and tells them that he's going to make an example out of the Road Reapers just to show everyone there's a new game in town. He kills the Road Reapers, and we're going to pick things up next week in Flash Accomplished a Murder? ? So, yeah, I don't know. It was okay, I guess. Did anyone else read this one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Oh, both of you. Wow.
Yeah.
What did y'all think of it?
I didn't like it.
Me either.
Yeah, it was very weird.
I don't like this negative Speed Force Flash, especially because it's not in any of the other books.
Yeah,
Flash, I don't know.
Flash seems really mopey and just like kind of just complaining about everything, and it's like, man, this guy's smart. Like I feel like Barry Allen would just go out to the desert right away and figure out how these powers work.
Exactly,
I mean, like I don't know.
And he would get help. I mean, he would go to Batman. He would go to Superman. I mean,
you have the resources of the Justice League at your disposal.
He would go to the Watchtower. Cyborg, somebody.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, and Joshua Williamson's stories typically are hit or miss for me.
I was kind of hopeful from our last storyline, and I was like, oh, we're gonna
with the kids and stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it ended off with new powers, Newberry. I was like, okay, we're getting back to a new storyline, a new Flash, and I did not expect negative Speed Force stuff.
It's like the emo dance that Tobey Maguire does in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's just we don't talk about that here.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. I don't know. This new villain does look cool though. I kind of dig that.
Yeah,
so,
Shrapnel.
I don't know. Shrapnel looks cool.
What is it with the metal stuff?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're hinting at some big event coming up.
What?
I don't know. So I've heard things about that, but
I wish they would have named all the books since they announced metal song names.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Cool. That would be really cool.
Some good old classic You Shook Me All Night Long.
Yeah. So what do we think on ratings on this
Blasphemy.
one? Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
I couldn't even put it in purgatory. It was bad.
Okay.
The worst Flash book I've read since the start.
Okay. What about you, Travis?
I was going to say Purgatory, just because I'm going to read the next one. I want to see what's happening with it, but
I'm at Purgatory too. I mean, I think the artwork is enough to save it from Blasphemy for me. I mean, if the art's good and the story sucks, then that typically gets it out of Blasphemy for me.
There was a couple of really cool panels in there.
Yeah.
I guess I can see that. I'll upgrade to Purgatory.
Because I don't want to slight the artist.
Yeah,
for
you guys
just bad writing.
Yeah,
so.
I mean. Yeah, I'll go Purgatory.
Okay.
Talk me into it.
Okay, good deal. All right, so that's all we got for you guys this week. As always, if you want to find us on social media or anything, we are located on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Nerd Church Radio. If you want to help us keep the mics on and donate to our humble cause, you can do so at patreon.com/nerdchurchradio, where you can contribute to us on a monthly basis. Every little bit counts. Or if you just want to send us a one-time donation, you can do that through PayPal. Our email address is nerdchurchradio@gmail.com. We also welcome constructive criticism and feedback. If you want to send us some emails, maybe we'll even read them on the show. You can email me at nerdchurchradio@gmail.com. And we would love it if you headed on over to iTunes and gave us a quick review. We do love those 5-star reviews. Just Nerd Church Radio on iTunes. If you want to find me personally on social media, I'm on Twitter at IndieComicBen. Where can we find you, Travis?
Find me on Twitter at TritonTR. That's TRITONTR.
And Brad.
I'm on Twitter as well at NerdDad_Brad.
Awesome. Do you guys have anything else this week?
Good. Nope.
All right, then I'll say peace be with you.
And also with you.
Peace out, planet Earth.
Go forth and read comics.